Licht is alive, and he's in a coma. Yeah, that happened. I'm so relieved my legs feel like they might give out. He's alive. But a sudden trepidation comes over me, knowing that he might not be in the best condition. We have to find him before it's too late.
Why are you two huddling in there? I told you to call me when you found something.
Ray walks in, hands on his hips.
We found a file of everything we're looking for.
Yeah. Everything we need to know about the orphanage is here. I hand over the folder and Ray takes it quietly. Subaru and I look at each other, waiting as Ray skims through the files.
This is...
His eyes run rapidly through each page until he stops and leans back.
So, all our assumptions have finally been given proof. Yes, we were right about most things.
Ray grits his teeth.
This is the cause of everything that's happened to us. How could they even approve such a research proposal?
Ray.
There's something we call ethics. This isn't even debatable. They're clearly treating us like animals.
Subaru doesn't say anything, but he looks upset. Does he feel the same?
Nobody's happy about this, old man.
Ray hisses out a frustrated groan.
It's no use complaining, he's dead. Yeah, and we're out here, dying.
I bite my lip. I know it's wrong, and I can't speak for everyone, but the only thing Silas Ackerman did was wrong, was thinking he knew best. Let's look on the bright side. At least we're far from where we started.
You're quite the optimist.
Is that a bad thing? Ray finally chuckles.
Nah, it's part of your charm. Even in a desperate situation like this, it's refreshing to hear something like that.
How is that charming? Oh my. I'm being complimented by two boys right now. I don't know how to feel. Aren't you supposed to look for the silver lining in everything? Ray sets a hand on my head, tussling my hair.
A lot of people can say that, but they're not as convincing.
Is he saying that I am? I can't help but smile. That's good to know. Ooh. What do I have to suggest? Ray. Woof. Cracking. Ray, Licht is alive somewhere. We need to find him. Ray looks at me, then flips through the pages again.
Yeah, finding Licht is our top priority now.
Yes.
I feel like my voices are different. It's honestly been months since I've revisited this game. Oh boy. Listening to my voices was not enough to recreate them, I feel. Maybe it's okay. The experiment is no longer a mystery. Now, about Licht. Do you have any clues as to where he could be? I would say a hospital, but considering the circumstances, that doesn't seem likely. Yeah, no normal hospital is going to take in someone who's in a coma from some crazy experiment. Which means he's probably somewhere in this orphanage.
I think back to the room where we first met Licht in the nightmare world. If I remember correctly, there's a door at the back of the records room leading to another room. I realize that given our current location, the room where we found Licht should be right around here. But all I see in front of me is a wall with no door in sight. Something strange about this wall. Touch. I gently place my hand on the wall where the door was in the nightmare world. Something feels off about this wall. Ray catches on to what I'm up to and taps the wall.
Nice detective work, Risa. This wall isn't solid. There must be a hidden door.
Ray gives the wall a kick and the door opens with ease.
Father must have made modifications after the fact. Guess there's something really important back here.
Something important? That something must be. I feel my heart jumping in anticipation. Licht is on the other side. I try to take a step, hoping to find who I'm looking for. A familiar scent hits my nostrils. It's the room we found Licht in. The only thing that's different is that there are medical supplies and equipment lying around.
It smells like a hospital in here.
We look around and find shelves with different medical equipment.
Guys.
At the corner of the room, we find an occupied bed. Is that Licht? We draw closer to see a young man with dark hair and pale skin. There are numerous tubes attached to his body, his face half covered with an oxygen mask. A surge of emotion comes over me as I recognize him. It's you! Finally, I found you. Your body must be horribly atrophied. From the coma and not moving. The corner of my eyes start to burn, and I grip the bed frame to keep myself from falling. I try to reach out, but Subaru intercepts my wrist.
Careful.
Ah! He lets go of me, and I put my hands together close to my chest, feeling the ache as I watch Licht's chest rise and fall with each breath. Ray focuses on the wires attached to Licht's body.
He's been kept alive all these years.
Do you think he's okay?
Well, his heart rate is normal.
Ray looks at us from over his shoulder.
His breathing is regular, too.
He then proceeds to check the other machines, clicking on the screen to see if there's something else that it can tell him. I'm relieved Ray knows how to deal with these things.
This is really strange. What is it? The recent records show some heightened activity. I'll have to access older data from the EEG to compare if his brainwaves have been this active.
EEG?
Electrocephalogram.
Ray presses a button and the machine starts to hum softly. Not a second later, some paper starts printing. We can see the lines clearly going above and below the margin. It doesn't take an expert to know what it means.
He might have been asleep all this time, but his mind's been awake. In fact, he might actually be listening to us now.
We all take a moment to look at Licht. My head sinks. He's in a peaceful slumber, but who knows how much pressure his body and mind have been under all these years.
Go ahead.
Ah. Ray puts his hands in his pockets and nods his head to the side as if telling me to go.
I think he'd appreciate some comfort right now.
I chuckle, if only to stop myself from crying, then lean close to the bed. Hey. I reach out, taking Licht's hand. He's warm. He looks like he's going to wake up any minute, but he's trapped alone in the nightmare world. The thought of it makes me feel helpless, and I grab Licht's hand to help fight back my tears. We're here, Licht. I'm here. I call out to him, but there's only silence. It's not like I was hoping for a reply. I'm just glad that we finally found you. You've been fighting for your life here this whole time.
Is there any chance of him becoming conscious? I can't say, but we can try waking him up.
Ray goes over to the bed and takes out a flashlight. There's a beam of light as Ray clicks it on, then uses it to examine Licht's eyes.
Nystagmus. His oculomotor nerve is damaged. This could be an aneurysm.
No. What should we do? I grip Licht's hand tighter. What should we do?
Subaru, try to press a pen on his big toe.
What? Ray tosses a pen and Subaru catches it perfectly.
Give it some more pressure. We need to find out if he'll respond to pain.
Subaru nods, poking it into Licht's skin, careful not to cause any real damage. There's nothing.
He's unresponsive, Risa.
No.
As you can see, he's currently vegetative. Medically, there's nothing we can do for him.
But nothing we can do? I feel like my world has suddenly gone dark.
Our one and only hope is to end the nightmare as soon as possible. If that world disappears, Licht's consciousness will be forced to come back to ours. In theory. You're probably right. We can't give up yet, Risa. Licht is still here, alive and breathing. Now all I have to do is accept my memories and we're good. I'll do my best.
Subaru, Ray. I'm so glad I have you two. You're right, we've still got hope. Let's make a future where we can wake up in this world again with smiles on our faces.
Atta girl, that's the spirit. But this isn't good. Silas was the one looking after him, right? That means he was left here alone after Silas died.
What? Ray begins looking around the room in search of something. What is he looking for? What's up? What's up, Ray? Did you need something?
Yeah,
He opens a lower cabinet but pauses to look at me. Oh. His eyes are so focused.
I need an IV bag.
Ray's eyes are on the IV drip. I follow his gaze and see that the bag of fluids is empty. Oh, I'll help.
I'll go check that side.
Subaru and I move about, and I find myself going to the nearest thing to me, the fridge. Maybe there's some goody foods in there. It's huge and rusty in some spots, but surprisingly I open it easily. Okay, it's gotta be here somewhere. Inside the fridge, there are heavy bags filled with dark reddish fluid. Like blood. I take a pack in my hands, feeling the almost gelatinous blood liquid move around in the plastic container. Is this blood? I feel bile rising up in my throat. I've seen more horrible things, but I don't think I'll ever get used to it.
You okay, Risa?
Yeah. I lick my dry lips, putting the blood bag back where I found it. Oh, that's... The next shelf seems to be stacked with bags containing clear fluids. I take one and read the label carefully to make sure. Saline solution, yes! I smile, immediately holding up the bag. Ray, here's... I call out to Ray as I turn around, but my breath catches in my throat as I look at him. Ray hums in question, but he's not looking at me. He focuses on his wristwatch, the time ticking away as he runs his thumb against the IV drip controls. Ray stands tall, looking professional. A stethoscope hangs over his neck, and he bobs his head up and down to check the conditions with care. He's like a real doctor. Oh my goodness. I can't help but find myself attracted to his intense gaze. I bet he'd look good in a lab coat. Ugh.
Did you find it?
He slowly turns to me, eyes as soft as his smile. Yeah, here. I rush over to hand him the bag, and he takes it gently. Ray checks the contents of the bag and looks at me.
Nice work, Risa.
His smile, the fact that he's praising me. No, it all makes me happy. Suddenly I feel his hand run through my hair.
Thanks. Now help me out here. I need you to hold his hand.
Okay. Ray will make a good doctor.
There.
Ray steps back after hooking the bag over Licht's IV stand. Thank you, Ray.
No problem. Someone has to do it. It's not like he can take care of himself. Still being in a coma for 13 years.
Ray turns to look at Licht, his eyes downcast with what looks like pity.
Judging from the state he's in, he's probably been left like this for about a week.
A whole week? The thought of it sends chills down my spine. If we'd have been even one day later, he might not have made it.
Which means Silas was killed around that time. And it's also when we started having these nightmares. Us getting pulled into these nightmares might be the result of Licht unconsciously calling out for help. If we hadn't come, Licht would have died for sure.
I'm so glad we could save Licht.
I found this while we were looking for the IV bag.
Subaru holds out a leather journal. It's
Silas Ackerman's diary.
Ray and I gasp. What should I do? Ask about the diary. What does it say?
The first few notes were about his research plans. There were some names of other people involved, but I don't think that's any concern to us now.
We flipped through the pages, skimming through the writings carefully. This spans 13 years or so.
Wait, stop there.
I feel a hand over my own, abruptly stopping me from turning another page. Ray helps me hold the book in place, and I feel him peer in closer from over my shoulder. After the incident, I found myself at a loss. Do I grieve for my son, or do I grieve for myself? Then he leans back and folds his arms.
Let's start here.
Okay. My eyes travel from the paragraph Ray just read. How has it come to this? Licht. Your father is a wanted man. I'm terribly sorry for putting your life and your friends' lives at risk. The governor has judged this experiment to be a failure, and I trail off, biting my lip. Subaru steps beside me and finishes the sentence.
I am to pay for my sins. So the government came after him.
It feels like he was more of a scapegoat. A scapegoat? Subaru nods, flipping a page.
The experiment was partly funded by the government, but it looks like they put the blame solely on Silas Ackerman. So they washed their hands of the whole thing, huh? How typical.
But if he died recently, then that means he's been avoiding the institution for this long?
Right? That's almost impressive.
I look down at the page again. His alpha waves have been greatly erratic, seemingly stemming from nightmares during REM sleep. Could it be that the subject's stress and trauma contributed to this? What if the bad memories that I had hoped to eliminate in these 5 children made their way into Licht's healthy mind? I have polluted my own son's memories to the point that he can no longer be woken up. I am sorry, my son. Please forgive me. My head snaps up, looking back at Licht. He's been trapped in our bad memories. But Licht didn't have any memory of our traumatic experiences, or anything at all for that matter. The monster didn't appear when Licht got his memories back. I wonder if that has anything to do with it.
That monster is a manifestation of our trauma, which would mean Licht has no relation to it because he has no trauma. That's why the monster didn't appear.
I see. So he's in the nightmare world even though he has nothing to do with it. I'm getting confused. This is really hard to wrap my head around.
We can't conclude that Licht has nothing to do with the monster.
Subaru and I both look at Ray. What do you mean?
Licht had anything but a traumatic childhood and was raised by loving parents. But as this diary states, his memories fused with the trauma because of the experiment. Just like Risa said earlier, he's been trapped in our bad memories.
Subaru acknowledges this with a nod. There's way too much going on here. I'm so confused. At this point, I'm not sure if I'm just too slow to catch on or if Ray and Subaru are just too sharp.
Let's lay out and organize what we know again.
Subaru seems to notice me struggling with comprehending the situation.
Risa, do you remember the purpose of the experiment?
The experiment was to remove our bad memories and fill the void with Licht's pleasant ones, right?
Right, but instead, Licht was the one that lost his memories. His mind ended up becoming the void.
Right, and then our memories flowed into that void.
Exactly. The results of the experiment were the exact opposite of what they were supposed to be.
It's hard enough to remember my own past, but to think Licht is carrying around the memories of 5 people? That must be so awful. But Licht didn't have any memories.
We can thank the monster for that,
Ray says with more than a hint of irony.
5 people's worth of traumatic experiences was more than Licht could handle. So they were separated.
How so?
It's a unique situation, but you could say it's similar to dissociative identity disorder.
Dissociative what? Previously known as multiple personality disorder. Basically, the monster is another side of Licht that is holding all the bad stuff.
Dissociative identity disorder. The symptoms are commonly referred to as dual or multiple personalities. That sound more familiar?
There's the doctor in training. His analogies are very medical. That's when there are multiple consciousnesses in a single person's brain, right? What does that have to do with Licht?
Let's imagine that the nightmare world is Licht's brain.
Ray takes out a pen and draws a sloppy circle on the dusty floor. Subaru and I squat down and stare at his questionable drawing. I'm guessing the circle is supposed to be Licht's brain.
Licht couldn't handle 5 people's worth of trauma and separated the memories from his consciousness.
Ray draws a crack in the circle.
I see. So the Licht in the nightmare world and the monster are 2 separate personalities within his brain. Yeah. Through Licht, the Licht is likely the primary identity, while the monster is a hostile alternative one.
I get it. I think I finally understand. So, what we're doing by recovering our memories is removing the alternative identity.
Yeah, something like that.
Thanks for helping me sort all that out. Ray gives me a gentle pat on the head before standing up.
Nighttime already. I'm gonna go look through more of the documents.
Ray heads back over to the records room. Guess I'd better do my part too. Just as I'm about to enter the door, I feel Subaru grab my sleeve. I turn to see him looking at me, brows furrowed with an uneasy expression. Subaru is the only one that hasn't regained his memories. He must be really anxious. He can't even imagine what kind of horrible past he may have had. That past of his could really change our future. Subaru's eyes go wide, as if he just realized he was holding onto my sleeve. His cheeks go a little red, and he averts his gaze.
Could you stay with me? Just for a little bit. Being with you is really relaxing.
This is the first time Subaru's asked me for a favor like this. That thought alone brings joy to my heart. I sit down next to Subaru again and nestle close to him. I lean against his shoulder and I can feel the tension leave his body. Being together like this reminds me of when we were kids. Back then, I remember looking through a book about insects. We read through it so many times that I could probably remember what was on every page of it. There was a beautiful butterfly on one page, and we'd always hoped we could see it in real life one day. Now that I think about it, Subaru wasn't afraid of bees back then like he is now. Hehe.
Something funny?
No, it's nothing, just reminiscing. You probably don't remember, but we used to sit side by side like this and read books on bugs. I snuggle up closer to him and lay my head on his shoulder. Subaru wraps his arm around me and pulls me in close. Oh my, I can feel my heart flutter, but at the same time I feel so relaxed.
I'm sure we were really happy back then. Doing things with you sounds like fun.
Aww. Yep, we had lots of fun. There's a lot of stuff you'll be so happy to remember. You were a really cute kid. You had a genuine sparkle in your eyes when you were reading through those books.
And let me guess, you were staring at me the whole time.
Subaru says jokingly. I guess you can see right through me. I really loved seeing you with that magical sparkle in your eye. I look over at Subaru. Our gazes meet, and I feel my heart skip a beat. He's been joyfully looking at me as I talk. He's looking at me with those 2 beautiful eyes of his, and it's, breathtaking. He's so beautiful. I've never seen his smile look so warm. If only we could be in a world where he could always smile like this. Subaru slowly moves his face towards mine. I close my eyes and accept his kiss. Oh my.
Risa.
His raspy voice brings life to this stark room. So warm.
I really like you, Risa.
Subaru. We find ourselves kissing once more. His warmth flows into me through his lips. Okay. I wish we could stay like this forever. I couldn't be happier. I hope that Subaru is as happy as I am right now. After a while, Subaru pulls away reluctantly. I thought I'd be the one to calm his nerves, but I feel like he's helped me more than I've helped him. He's got a mysterious quality to him. I hope that my presence has the same kind of effect on Subaru. I reach out with my hand and touch his slightly rosy cheek. Subaru, no matter what kind of hardships await us, please don't forget that I'll always be by your side. Whether you think back to our cozy memories from childhood or the kiss we just shared, please remember that I am with you all the way, until I possibly abandon you for Licht. But we don't know what's gonna happen. He might die. Or maybe I'll just choose you instead, no one has to die. Oh God. I know you'll be able to overcome your past. I believe in you. After all, you overcame all of it as a child. I remember you smiling beside me. Subaru takes my hand on his cheek and gives it a kiss. Thank you. With your help, I've made up my mind. I want to be strong so that I can protect you. Accepting my past is part of that. Aww. Besides, I've got a pretty good idea of what happened in my past already. Wait, you mean you already got your memories back? I don't need them back to figure it out. It's easy. My eye is the cause of it all. My parents abandoned me because of this eye. That's all there is to it. But it's fine. My eye makes people uncomfortable. I get it. It'll take more than that to hurt me. I'm used to it anyways. I'm used to it, so I know I can accept it. Subaru? No, that's... Ray enters the room, interrupting our conversation. Subaru seems unfazed and steps away from me. The darkness in Subaru's heart might be a lot worse than I thought. His heart is twisted and torn because of the people around him. Is there anything I can do that can mend his heart of his? As I'm about to reach for Subaru, my vision starts to blur. I hear the distant ringing of the bells. I can hear the bells. Ah, Subaru's the last one. This will be the final nightmare. I feel myself fall, and the last thing I see before hitting the floor is Subaru. No matter what kind of horrible past awaits us, please let there be a happy ending to it all. Please let there be a future where Ray, Subaru, Licht, and I can all smile together. Ah, the red eye. Yes. Hello. Bra. 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 Ba ba bra. La. La la la. La la la. La la la. La la. La la la. La la la. La la la. Whew. Okay. Well then. Until next time.